Hello and welcome all to my YouTube channel Azure Beyond Demos. My name is Kunal Chandratre and I'm going to build a demo of sending email alert when secret or key stored in Azure Key Vault is near expiry or already expired. So in this video, I'll talk about architecture of the solution using Event Grid and Logic Apps, actual demo configuration from the Azure portal, and it will be absolutely zero code solution. So let's start. Let us look at the solution architecture. This solution is low code, no code, means to send email alerts when key vault secret is expired. We don't need to write a single line of code. So we start with Azure Key Vault, which holds the secrets and keys. When a secret is about to expire or has already expired, Key Vault automatically raises an event. This event is pushed into an event grid topic. That topic will be created by us first. It is called as system topic. Here we will not be creating event grid namespace and then creating a topic inside the namespace. We won't do it. Our topic will be without namespace. Why? Let us understand the difference. If I go to Azure portal and open event grid in search, you will see that I have many options in event grid. Out of these, system topic is specifically used for Azure resource events. Key Vault secret or Key Vault key expiry is an Azure resource event, and hence we have to use system topic only. If we look at event grid namespace, it is clearly mentioned it is related to application event. Same goes with the topics. These are designed for app specific events and hence we won't be using it. This differentiation between various topics is important. Hope this is clear. Let's move forward back to the architecture. So the system topic carries two types of events, secret expired and secret near expiry. Next, we create a subscription on this topic that listens for these specific events. This subscription routes the events to Logic app, which acts as our event handler. The Logic app is triggered as soon as it receives the secret expiry event. Finally, the Logic app uses an Office 365 connection to send out an alert email to notify the relevant team. Starting with the solution only. So this is my key vault. Now if I want to create a secret within this, I should be assigned a role called as secret officer. Without that, I won't be able to create any data inside that. So on the Azure Key Vault, I can use Key Vault secret user or officer. When you are user, then you can only read the secret contents, but you cannot create one. For now, I will select the officer because I want to create also and then read also. And then in the members, I will select my name and then I'll just assign. So I have three secrets created. One secret two, uh, it is already expired. This is today's date. Then secret three will be expired in a week's time, and secret four is not expiring for at least next 2 years. Let's create the system topic. So click on event grid and then system topics, click create. Now here I need to first select the topic type. So my topic type is going to be based on Key Vault events. So I will select Microsoft Key Vault, then select the required subscription, select the required resource group where your Key Vault exists. So this is my resource group, and in that this is my Key Vault. Okay. Now I need to select the system topic name. So I will type here, let's say secret expiry topic. The region is same. Now whether I should add the system managed identity or no. Well, we should create the system managed identity. Why? Let's understand. System topic is going to read the information or going to get the information about expiry from key vault. Therefore, your event grid system topic should have access on Azure Key Vault. And that's why for system topic, we should be using managed identity, and then that managed identity should have secret user or key user role so that it can read the required events from that. Similarly, when Azure Logic App is going to read from subscription, that will require an access on the system topic related subscription. Therefore, your Logic App's managed identity will need access on the subscription. Hope this is clear. Okay, so let's click on review and create, and then with managed identity enabled for my system topic, as you see on my screen here, I'm going to now click on create. This will create my system topic. Let's move forward. Let's create logic app. So I click on logic apps, click create. Now there are many options to host the logic app. I usually prefer workflow service plan, which is dedicated one, and all the VNet integrations are available. So I'll select it. Now we have to put the subscription. Then I will select the resource group. Then my logic app is going to send an alert overall. So I'll say uh, expiry alert logic app. Okay. Then region Central India, and uh, the name I'll keep as it is for the standard one. Then storage is required to store the state, so I'll not change anything out here. Networking I'll keep public access for now. Monitoring, it will create the Azure application insight. I'll say okay, go ahead and create, and then finally let's click on the create button, and this will create the logic app. Let's add workflow in this logic app. So click on workflows and then add, give the name as AKV secret expiry workflow, select stateful, and then click on create. So now my workflow is created. Just refresh the page. Now in that I will have to add the designer and the steps. So there are a couple of approaches I can take. Either I can select a trigger for the event grid event itself, or I can also use a webhook based approach. I personally like webhook based approach, so I'm going to use that in this demo. I will select request option from here. This is my trigger, and when I click on this, it opens the details. So I will add the description that when a secret expiry event is received, then I want to have this particular webhook automatically received, or this request should be automatically invoked. And that's it. I'll not change anything out here, and I'll just save it. So this URL will be automatically generated after the save. Okay. So if yeah, here it is generated. So this URL is the one which will be invoked now whenever a secret expiry event occurs. Now let's move to the next step. If you remember, we had created workflow service plan, which is a single tenant runtime plan used for my logic app. The single tenant logic app workflow, and when it is used as a endpoint, uh, or when it is used as a event grid subscriber, we need to explicitly perform the subscription handshake validation. What does it mean? When an endpoint, in our case it is the logic app, whenever logic app wants to act like a event grid subscriber to handle the events, logic app first should validate the subscription handshake.
to agree that it is accepting to receive the events from the topic and subscription. So in this validation process, the event grid is going to send a validation request or handshake request to the subscriber endpoint, and the subscriber, in this case logic app, will say yes, I accept the handshake. Once this handshake is completed, then the publisher or topic will send the event to this logic app endpoint. Now, what if we don't do this handshake? If you don't have the handshake implemented in single tenant logic app workflow, and you tried provisioning event grid subscription with webhook URL provided with workflow endpoint URL, you will get an error. This error looks like this. Deployment has failed with following error: URL validation. The message states webhook validation handshake failed for your logic app URL, and an HTTP post request return 200 response with response body. Now, when a validation request is accepted without validation code in the response body, HTTP get is expected on the validation URL included in the validation event, and then there is some information on how you can validate this. Okay, so to avoid this error, the handshake validation must be implemented into logic app workflow. So let's.
I will click on action, and in the action I will select condition. This is built-in action. Now for this condition I will name it as like, is this subscription validation handshake? Okay, so I want to check if this is a subscription validation handshake request. Then I just want to make sure that uh, it is going to send the response code back. So to read the information of type of event, we will add an expression over here. Okay, so here we will need to add trigger body and then take out the event type information from that. Okay, so this is the expression I'm adding. So I'm actually reading the event type information from the body, and I'm saying if it contains Microsoft dot event grid dot subscription validation event. So I'm checking here that if the incoming request has this as a event type, then this condition will be satisfied and my flow execution will go into the true box. Okay, now in this true box I will have to add a response action which will send the validation code back to event grid subscription saying that I'm ready to now accept the events. Okay, and yeah, so now with this just save it. Okay, so it was not allowing me to save because by mistake I had added the question mark in the name of this condition. So usually any special characters are not supported into the action name. So I just removed the special character question mark and saved it, and it got saved successfully. Now next step is we need to add a response action in this true box. So let's do that. Add an action response. Now this is going to be valid response. So the status code is 200, and in the body I need to send the validation code. So I'm going to create the JSON out of that. This is a bit of a complex expression. I will paste this into description box so that you can have it copied when you're implementing it. Click on add and then save. Now the validation response code is sent back to the event subscription, and I don't want to continue this flow after this, so we will add an action called as terminate. Okay, this is also a built-in action, and I will say this has been successful. Now this completes my handshake validation flow. Now if the incoming request is not really the validation request and it is the actual expiry event, then I need to send an email. So I will not add that into a false box, rather I will add directly at the bottom. Okay, so here, so I will select plus, add an action, and I'm going to say send an email. Now there will be many email action uh, listed, but out of this we need to select Office 365 Outlook send an email v2, because I'm going to use Office 365 email, so I'm selecting this. Okay, then it might ask you to log in with your credentials, and we need to fill the information here. So I have added the from email, the subject, and in the body, I'm going to just select the dynamic content. I'm going to select the entire body for now. I will just say trigger body out here, and I will say add, and then I will save it. Okay. Now I need to add this first step, which was the webhook URL. This URL I need to add as a trigger into the system topic. So for that, let's go to system topic, click on event subscriptions and click on plus. So here it is going to add the subscription. I will name it as a secret event subscription, or let's call it as a secret expiry subscription. Schema, I'm going to select event grid schema. Now in the events, I need to select the secret expiry. You can choose depending on your use case. I'm going to address only secret near expiry or secret expired. So selected that. You can check that as I had created the system topic for this key vault, this system topic already assigned or associated to the key vault only, and the name of key vault is also present over here. And then it asks me for the endpoint type. Here you will not see a logic app option, so you have to select webhook, configure endpoint, and copy paste the same URL that we had copied from the first action of logic app. Confirm the selection and then simply click on create. Now this operation is actually going to send the validation handshake event uh, to the logic app, and once logic app response is sent as a validation code, then the actual expiry event will start getting sent into the topic, and then we should receive an email also out of this. So to trigger an uh, immediate email, I'm also going to go into the Azure Key Vault, and I'm going to add one more secret. So here is the new secret that I'm adding, and it is going to expire right after 7 minutes. And I say create. So I should be receiving uh, the email about this secret also in some time, and also for these which were already created in the month of May. So let's see how it goes. Okay, so I waited for a few minutes and then I clicked on run history under the workflow, and there was one run history happened just 10 minutes back. Okay, so I will click on this to see what are the details in this. Now if I open this run history, you can see that there was a request that was received, and this flow of condition of subscription validation was terminated. That means this terminate action was executed. So let's see what were the details. So when I click on secret expiry event, so this first action was triggered with the validation code. This confirms that when I added the logic app URL as an endpoint inside the system topic subscription, the validation event was sent to my logic app. This confirms it. Now as a response, this same code should be sent back, so that is done into the response. So if I click here, you can see that this is the exact perfect JSON with the validation code that was sent back to the event subscription. Okay, so that means my registration of endpoint as a subscriber is successful. Now we just need to few more minutes to see if we get more run events over here, which should be actually related to the expired or near expiry secrets. Let's wait. So I added few more secrets into my key vault, and then I saw that there was a bunch of run histories that I had received. So if I open the latest one, you can see that the input is about secret near expiry. Okay. And this is for secret number 7 that I had created recently. The handshake validation expression result was false, so it did not go into true or false, any of these, and then it directly go into the sending an email. Okay. And now if I go into my emails, I should be able to see that. So let's look at the emails. So here are the emails that I have received. You can see. Now let's open one of the email. This is the email I have received. We can check all the details over here. So this is my Azure Key Vault name. Okay. Then here is the secret name, as you can see, secret 7. This is not very well formatted because I had used directly the body into my email, but we can work on that later if you want. And then it says that this secret 7 uh, is near expiry or already expired. Okay, so we might want to see what we need to do with this secret. And so yeah, so this is how you can implement this entire solution. Thank you for watching and see you soon. All right, so off to my favorite section, real world queries about this solution. So the first question is, can I use different email provider in Logic app than Office 365? Yes, you can. You can use any email provider connection in Logic app workflow. If the connector to your email provider is not available, then you can simply create an Azure function with actual code to send an email using your provider and use that function inside the Azure Logic app workflow. So everything works absolutely fine. Second question is about can I use consumption tier of Logic App plan? Yes, you can. I personally prefer standard tier plans for Logic App because then in real world you integrate with VNet of Azure and everything needs to be privately accessed. Standard plan offers that at the same time. It is easy for me to monitor Logic App usage because I know how much CPU and memory is being consumed, and if required, I can configure auto scale also based on that. So it becomes easy for me. So I use standard tier. Then third question, can I build this functionality without using event grid? Yes, you can. But in that case, you will need to query your key vault secrets on regular basis by writing code to check if expiry is near or expired already. Then use that code in an automation runbook or Azure function and then execute it periodically on a frequency. Most of the stuff in that case will need to be coded, which is provided out of the box in event grid. So I will prefer event grid certainly, and it is not only with the secret expiry, but I can use it with any key vault event, whether it is key expiry or certificate expiry and so on. Question number 4, can I build this solution using private endpoints? Yes, all resources, I mean, Key Vault, Event Grid, and Logic App can be configured to work on private endpoints. In this, I have not used it. Okay. Then point number 5, if I have 5 secrets, does this mean I will need to create 5 workflows in the Logic App plan? No, 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 no. If you have seen, we configured secret expiry event for entire Key Vault, not for individual secret or key, which are created in Azure Key Vault. You just need one event grid topic plus subscription, one Logic App workflow per Key Vault, not per secret or key. Okay. Then 6, can I use multiple key vaults in a single event grid and single logic app workflow? I have not tried this. You can use single namespace of event grid, but I will recommend you use separate topic and subscription and separate logic app workflow per key vault instance. Can I configure the time and frequency for these alerts? I could not find an option where we can set up the frequency. If you want custom frequency, then you will need to query key vault and build a solution on your own. You cannot use this uh, low code no code solution of logic apps. All right, hope this helps and see you soon.